So, for those of you who, can you hear me in the back? For those of you who don't know me, John Boguth, Pop and Bubba's oldest grandson, and obviously the favorite grandchild. He might have been just Paul to you, or Uncle Paul, Dad, great Papa, but to his dozen grandkids, he's Papa, so that's how you're gonna hear about him from me. If there's one thing you know you're going to hear about when anybody talks about Papa, it's family. He wasn't trying to fix all of the problems in the world, even though I think he probably could have. He was just trying to tend to his family, to make sure that we're all doing right, that we're helping to make our own families a little better every day. Family was everything to him. Times though, we're visiting with him in the morning at his house, particularly over the last 9 years since we moved back to Michigan. So I would always try to get him to talk about the world and big picture questions. I do think he would have solved all the problems if he wanted to. My favorite times, what we did when that happened, were when Uncle Pete would stop in. And what I really like about that is Papa and I could gang up on Uncle Pete. At least that's how I'm going to remember those conversations. My mom has some interesting memories of Papa as well. I'm pretty sure she still thinks that Papa had the best short game in our family on the golf course, for those of you who are not golfers. This is despite there being several scratch golfers in the room. Papa was not one of those. He's the guy who hit the 200-yard banana ball, at least by the time I played with him. He steals my line. That's right. Papa knew what he was doing. He'd aim one hole left and it would come back. So he knew exactly how to play that. Love you, Uncle Pete. I'm not sure if Papa or my dad cut down my first clubs for me, but I know Papa always had a putter at his house, and I could use that with his little electric ball return. An incredible man. He always had time for his family. Even a pain in the butt 9 or 10-year-old when I started going to golf courses. He would take me out for 9 holes all the time when I started going to the course. I'll never forget golfing with him and Aunt Stoya and my mom, going up to St. Clair Shores course or Partridge Creek. Before the game became kind of an obsession and they couldn't keep up anymore. Papa always said golf was a gentleman's game. That was important to him. It's very traditional, especially on the golf course. He had lots of family traditions as well. We're always going to look back on those. His classic milkshakes when we would go to his gym. I know those weren't just for me, not just with, oh yeah, they're from everybody. Even Boyo was telling me this morning that just 10 days ago, they were watching tennis and Papa scooped some ice cream for the two of them. So I didn't know this, but I guess Papa scooped differently. He used a butter knife. Yeah. I just thought that's what you did. Apparently some people were giving my brother some grief over copying that tradition. I don't know, who needs an ice cream scoop? I don't think we need that. And as long as we're gonna talk about Papa using a knife, come on, the family tradition, the feasts at Papa and Bubba's house. So his turkey carving, every Thanksgiving, every Christmas. If you wrote Bubba, 65 years married. 65 years. That's just, it's a wonder, it's an example. I got to see some of that 65 years when I was growing up. A little bit more up close than you would think. My parents couldn't figure out where they wanted to live or what kind of house they wanted to build, so we lived with Papa and Bubba for a few summers. So now I look back at that and I look at the marriages of my aunts and my uncles, my parents, and I just know one of the reasons why they all look the way that they do. It all starts with Papa and Bubba. You know that one Russian novel that opens something like, all happy families are the same, all unhappy families are unhappy in their own way? There's really no formula there, but we kind of all know what that means and what goes into it. Love, respect, patience, forgiveness, laughter, a million other things. It all adds up, in my mind, to tradition. And Papa was nothing if not traditional. I've heard some people say, perhaps fairly, that Papa didn't really say much. You're hearing all of my stories all night. If anybody else has those that they want to share, step up after me, but I'll wrap up in a moment. You can ask me about my stories later on. I love our family. Papa anchored it forever. We remember all of the time that he gave us, driving up to Traverse City to visit with Uncle Nick and his family, just for the day. Easy drive. Fishing at Stony Creek and Metro Beach and Port Huron and Florida, especially with Drago. Working in his garage. Guess he would fix Volkswagens. I had no idea about that with Uncle Pete. Or when he would let the little kids just hammer nails pointlessly into boards. Or talking at his table at our family feasts, or on the golf course, or everywhere we were lucky enough to spend time with him. We will carry on the traditions that Papa showed us how to carry on. And we might not fix all of the problems in the world when we're doing that. But we would be doing what his kumcha advises. Sorry on the pronunciation there. If we could copy just a fraction of his kindness, the world would be a far better place. What a life.